Shalom and peace. I'm gonna do this video in Swinglish. Uh, it will be a mix of Swedish and try to speak English. But I think this is an important issue to take care of and to be aware of. So the title for the video or this recording is Why the Essene Propaganda? And of course, I could have make an question mark after that, because in this video, I actually will share from documents that it really is propaganda. What is normally spoke about the Essenes. Most of them that has looked into it, maybe just on the surface, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Qumran scrolls, they had heard about the Essenes. Usually the first thing we hear about the Essenes is that it was an Jewish sect that was really appointed or dedicated to live a pure life, a pure lifestyle. We also can, from some sources, hear that they actually didn't even took for themselves wives, so they didn't get together and had children. Some sources, and it seems for me, when I listen to different sources, and of course that's also a propaganda that someone can tell you or say that, okay, so you got your information from YouTube or internet, then it's not trustworthy. But the thing is, if you see a lecture of a professor, you know, it doesn't matter if you are in the room or if you getting the live recording on YouTube. So there is a lot of different sources, but the main theme of the Essenes, how they are described, is as if they were a Jewish sect that live in Qumran, Bet Habara, near the Dead Sea, and that they they didn't took for themselves wives, but it's other sources that says that some of the Essenes, some mean that even the Jewish historians Josephus was a Essene before he became a Pharisee, and then a Hellenized, not Hellenized, but he started to work for the Romans. So, okay, that's the picture we get from start. When you search on YouTube, internet, if you going in a Bible college or anything, okay, Dead Sea Scrolls, the Essenes, okay, yeah, the Jewish sect, that, yeah, okay. But is it really true? Is it really true that the Essenes are the ones who are responsible or behind all the writings that were found at the Dead Sea, the Qumran caves? That's the question, because the thing is, you can look up this for yourself, but the thing is that it was in the 1948, around that time, when Israel also was giving the land of the English, the Great Britain uh, kingdom. And okay, they found these scrolls, and then soon it was actually a American man who's named John Stragnell, and he was the first leader for the research with these scrolls. And when you look this up, you can see he was really slow. He was slow doing this work. Um, they they didn't had any much resources to have many people to work in it with it, but they also wanted to do it very exactly and very precise. And so until, I don't remember exactly, but maybe 60, 70, the founding of Dead Sea Scrolls at 48, and then the work was it was a slow process. But this John Stragnell, uh, he was fired, or he had to leave the office of leading this research. Um, for one reason, he was claimed to be anti-Semite. He made statements that was, yeah, against Jews, and he also was an alcoholic. So that's kind of the reasons why they put him out of office and put other people there. And that's also when, because in the beginning the Americans had control over the research, but later it became Israel that had control over the research in most part. So, okay, that's a little background. And what is it that we found in the Dead Sea Scrolls? It's a lot of manuscripts that are very early Torah manuscript, and also Ezra, the first book of Enoch, and the book of Jubilees. And then we have the what to say, the writings from the priests that's called themselves the sons of light, the righteous ones, and the war scrolls and so on. And I will say I'm not an expert on this, but we don't need to be expert on this to understand what I'm going to show you today. We don't need to be that. We can just look at a few of the evidence that are heavy evidence, and then the other kind of evidence doesn't matter so much. So the thing is, the history from maybe 300 before our time counting, it was the Greeks that occupied Judea, and in 180 before Christ, it was the Maccabean revolt, the Hasmoneans, the Hasmonean dynasty. And when if we read some things from the professor that's named Sasha Stern, he will testify that when the Jews came back from the captivity in Babylon, they brought with them names on the month and lunar calendar. So these were more than 400, maybe 300 years earlier. But they brought it with them. And then we see it's a lot of distress and political issues and struggle and wars. And then we have Professor Rachel Ellior, who's been studying the Dead Sea Scrolls. And she's talking about that the priesthood in the second temple, which actually it was King Herod that made the temple like an extraordinary building. Before that, the second temple was not like the Temple of Solomon. So the second temple was not in comparison with Solomon's temple. But then the Herod the Great, who was kind of Jew, maybe not, but he was a kind of Jew. Depends how you define it. But that was him who made the temple really glorious again. So it was not any commandment from the Most High, or through it was through an political and from kingly motives. This he was not really secular, but however. So, but that what we see is that the priesthood in the temple from 170 BCE is that it shifted, and when the Hasmoneans, when Yehuda Maccabee, the revolt, they said that they were of a priestly lineage, but we read in Ezekiel that only the Sadokian priests were good in our Creator's eyes to serve him. So it was Hasmonean priest, and then it became secular priests that not were even Jews, even from the and we know in the book of Moshe, we know that it had to be from the Levites. So then we have this in Qumran. Okay, this is let's just take 150 years before BCE. What happened? The temple was kind of corrupted, and they started to intermingle with the Romans, and it's starting to be more political. It was a political system, not an theocratical system or theocratical rule. So the strange thing is that the first thing, kind of the first thing that was translated from the Dead Sea Scrolls is the Manual of Discipline. And if we just look in the beginning of it, because this is what is called the Qumran community usually. But I will read some here. This is the members of the order are enjoined to live and act pure sent to its rules and regulations to do what is good and upright before God, as he commanded through Moshe and all his servants, the prophets, to love and take part in every good deed, and hate and keep away from all evil, to love all the sons of light and hate all the sons of darkness. And then we have in the next verse here, they shall neither advance nor be tardy in the obedience of the holy days. So we have the holy days and the law through Moshe. That's one of the foundations. So if we just look at the Essenes and some of the descriptions about them, that they didn't took for themselves wives and have children. That's against the law of Moshe to have such teaching. So that's issue. And then we have also here we have further as against that Levites shall reckon the iniquities of the sons of Israel in the dominion of Belial. And this is also interesting because Belial is mentioned in one letter of Paul, the kind of apostle, and also in the book of Jubilees. So Belial, those entering the covenant shall follow the Levites by confessing. So this is really, really important. Further, first comes the priest, then the Levites, and then all the people in military formation by thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. So here they're still using the law by Moshe, how to order their community. But this is the thing. This is the thing. The important thing. Have you heard? Have you heard anyone tell you about the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Levites, the Sadokian priests? No. Why? Why isn't that the most important thing? Have you heard about the Levites during the Second Temple? No, not much. Not much. Maybe with Ezra, but not later. Have you heard about the Levites during the Second Temple? No. All you hear is Judaism. Judaism, it's all. And the Second Temple. But why? If it says in the book of Moshe that the Levites, the Zadok priests of Levites, that they are prophesied and promised, and the only one that he can trust, why doesn't anyone mention it? Why haven't we heard it? Why does all the people speak about the Essenes? This is from the Dead Sea Scrolls. And the thing is, they did found writings from the Essenes in the cave 4th, I think. It's the same area. It's when the Jordan River ends and the Dead Sea begins. So they found writings from the Essenes And then they found other writings in other caves. And then they take all of this and just make one sect of people that has written those things. But they don't read that when it's speaking about the Levites, the chosen one of our Creator, the chosen priest, the ones in the temple, they were not chosen by our Creator. Those ones who lived in Qumran, they were chosen by our Creator to serve Him. And we continue here. Only the sons of Zadok, keepers of the covenant, but hidden from himself. So only the sons of Zadok, keepers of the covenant. They didn't keep the covenant in Jerusalem during this time. The Zadok priest, I don't know, I haven't heard from anybody else, but maybe when the Seleucid Empire was occupying and controlling Jerusalem before the Maccabean revolt, I guess the Zadok priest of the Levites already had left Jerusalem and we lived in the desert. I don't think the Zadok priest uh, came back with the Hasmoneans in the Maccabean revolt. I don't think that. I think they stayed there in Qumran. And so that's really, 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 why don't you hear that? A Christian theologian that has studying Dead Sea Scrolls and things like that, he will not tell you about this. He will say the Essenes, the Essenes, the Essenes. The same the Jews, the religious Jews, they will say the Essenes, the Essenes, the Essenes. But why are not people speaking about the Levites, the Zadok priests that are prophesied? And I think it really is a deeper disobedience to our Creator's word in this behavior, and that it is behind this, that's a political propaganda and a religious propaganda from the religious Jews, because the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Enoch, they are witnessing against what the religious Jews are doing with their kind of calendar to follow the moon, that they brought it from Babylon, not from the Most High, not an angel that was giving revelations to the Jews to keep moon, a lunar calendar. No, they brought it from from Babylonian people. And the same with the name of the month. Sasha Stern witnessing about this. And the importance of having a correct calendar, because to serve the Most High, He commands us to get together at certain points and times. And that's how we have community. And it is the priestly leaders to lead the people in this. That was what the Sadokian priest was doing for their community. And they were not a political community that compromised with the word of Yahweh and the word of the political rulers. So the calendar is really, really, really important to have a community, a unity in truth. and in worship to our Creator. So, okay, Levites in the Qumran, Zadok priest, the Torah, and the calendar, which Professor Elliot uh, reports that they used the Book of Jubilees and the First of Enoch to understand how to count time and celebrate holidays. And in the temple in Jerusalem at that time, they used another calendar and another ways to worship. So the Essenes then, why aren't the Levites, the Zadok priests, Essenes? It's a really strange thing. Either are you a Sadokian Levite priest or you are Essene. Are you a Levite Sadokian priest? You are anointed with a mission from the Most High. The Essenes got nothing to do with anything like that. Nothing. So why even have the term Essene? And we will look at some evidence that I think is really, really crucial and strong, because we know this is from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's about the Sadokian priest of Levi. It was found there. Also, they found writings from the Essenes, but did they live there? They had another teaching than Torah, another teaching than the law from that our Creator gave through Moshe. Another teaching. So, what kind of witnesses will convince us? Because, okay, a teacher says, a Jewish rabbi says, a Jewish historian says, and Christian theologian says, is that trustworthy? And John Strugnell, which were the first to lead the research of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the so-called anti-Semitic and Shemai and alcoholic. After him, it was people like Robert Eisenhower that I think that's his name, and he was interested in Islam, and then Israel took the control over the research, and they started to uh, leave out a lot of material that even did, it's rumors that some were also false. It was false manuscript that was circulating. So it first it was very slow work and very concise, and then after John Strugnell, it started to be more commercial and open. So we can see influences of political and religious intention in the promotion and propaganda that it was the Essenes. It was the Essenes. So you got this, okay, Essenes, Dead Sea Scrolls, that's the same. Essene, Qumran Scrolls, okay, that's the same. Okay, that is witnesses from political and religious and commercial standpoints. So let's look at this. This is a quote from a Roman historians, and not only that, he it's from Pliny the Elder. He was a Roman historian, but also he was also kind of political, but he was a military. He was in the military. So if we understand the weight of his testimony, if you are a Roman military, in the Roman military, you need to know where people around you are, which geographical area. You can't be ignorant of that. You can't think, um, okay, I'm in the military, and okay, I think, oh, the people of the Essenes, they are living in Qumran, and then be wrong about that. If you are that stupid in the military, then you would do great mistakes in your strategy to control or research or plan your rule. So this is from a military. He was a commander. So what does he says? He says this: on the west side of the Dead Sea, but out of the range of the noxious exhalations of the coast, it's the solitary tribe of the Essenes. Laying below the Essenes was formerly the town of Ein Gedi. Next comes Masada, Pliny the Elder Natural History, book 5, I think. So the testimony of already said that political or religious people are not to take too serious. But this is a commander that need to be strategic and have the right information where different people lives in order to rule or plan for his maybe attacks or something like that. So this testimony, I think, it's really, really important. So the Essenes, they didn't live at Qumran. Qumran, Ein Gedi, it's 25 miles south of Qumran. 25 miles south. So, and up in the hill. That's where the Essenes lived. Not up at Qumran, Betabara eller Betaraba. So why did they found the writings up there? That's another question, but that's not for now, and that's not maybe. Uh, yeah, it's hard to understand why are there writings up there in Qumran in the cave 4. I don't have any answer for that, but we have historical evidence that they lived 25 miles south of Qumran, Betabara, and up in the hill uh, at Ein Gedi. So you can search it for yourself in your Bible, and you will have a map, and then you will find, if you go down from Betabara and then down, then you will find Ein Gedi. So that's the place where the Essenes lived. So I hope this give you can have from this and picture that you know up here Qumran, Dead Sea Scrolls, um, that's the Levites. the Sadokian priests, Levites, in Jerusalem, not Levites, not Sadokian priests, in Engedi or in the hills above Engedi, you got the Essenes. It's not the same. It's not an okay Jewish sects. They had the same calendar. They were no, it's not like that. Betabara, Qumran, Jordan. It was the Levite priest that lived there. In Jerusalem, it was mingled. It was Hellenized Jews from the Hasmonean lineage that not have anything prophesied about them to lead, be priests or rule the people. And then you have this purifying sect, if you may, the Essenes, that didn't even keep the Torah to procreate, to have children. So I think I mentioned that, but why the Essene propaganda? Why? It's to hidden the prophecies from our Creator about the Levite priest, and to hide us from the necessity of the Melchizedek priesthood through Yeshua Mashiach, which both the Jews, the religious Jews that hold on to the Second Temple Judaism, and the Christians that are adopting their teaching with this Jesus God thing, they both miss this. They miss the whole point. The transfer of the priesthood to Yeshua the Messiah from Nazareth. And that's why also, the Christians can have all their pagan holidays, and the Jews too. The Jews can also have their own pagan holidays and their pagan counting of month and so on. And also they celebrate their Hanukkah because of the victory of the Maccabean revolt, Yehuda Maccabee, but they forget to celebrate the Most High's festivals, which the Levites and the Sadokian priests at Qumran really hold on to. So, yeah, I hope something of this has come through, and I recommend you to the material that I have been used here. It's only from the Pliny the Elder and from the Manual of Discipline from Dead Sea Scrolls, which are step by step how you enter the community. So yeah, with that, I hope you've been blessed, and maybe we see you again. Bye.